Hey guys, Firm here, and today I'm going to be testing the Shelby GR1 in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 at max, finally! Yes, it took me probably like 100 Legend Store refreshes to be able to find all 48 blueprints, I think it was, to get this car from 3-star to 4-star. I have pretty much been working on that for the past several months. And it seemed like the closer I got to starring it up, the fewer blueprints they were actually selling, or they weren't selling them as often. But I was finally able to get it. Here you go. This is the Shelby that isn't a Mustang in Asphalt 9. This car is a higher end C-Class car, not one of the kings. I'd say it's somewhat close to the Alfieri and the Acura in terms of performance. Still pretty good, but not the best. Overall, it drives quite nicely. It doesn't really have any standout features, but it was one of those cars that I've wanted to test at max for a long time, ever since I got it a year ago pretty much in the Rimac event, and now I finally can. And I am testing this car in Gold League against B-Class cars, and so this should be some very interesting competition compared to what you might see in Silver League. I originally tried testing this car in Silver League, but most of the time I just got way ahead and it was kind of boring, so I decided to go up to Gold League and see what was going to happen there. And I had some pretty good races in Gold League. I didn't get first place in many of them simply because of all the Corvettes and Huracans and those things running around that are just so much better than me, but I still did get a lot of very high placings. Although I will tell you, there was a time early on when I was trying this car at the very first when I had gotten to Gold League, and then I dropped back to Silver League just because I wasn't used to driving this car against the competition that I was driving it against. Yeah, it's really not easy to drive a C-Class car like this in Gold League, but as you'll see throughout this video, while it isn't the greatest competitor around here, you will be able to gain some rating, even though you probably won't be able to come in first a lot of the time. That being said, I don't think you can get to Platinum in a car like this one. You'll definitely have to have a better B-Class car to be able to do that. But this car is a worthy one for Silver League and low Gold League racing. So let's talk about the Drive Syndicate a little bit more, because after I made my BMW i8 video, some new things have come out about it. First of all, that apparently there is a bug toward the end of one of the later stages where you're unable to upgrade the Bugatti to the rank that you need it at or something like that. I don't know all the details. I have just now started Twilight Getaway. So I've unlocked the Apex and I'm working my way to 3-starring it. I'm still going to see just how far I can get through this event, even though I'm pretty sure at this point I'm not going to be able to have enough Syndicate coins to get to the Bugatti in the end. And when it comes to the point where I know for sure that I'm not going to be able to do that, probably what I'll do is go back, max the i8, because that is a new D-Class king on some tracks, I'm pretty sure. And something really weird happened there. That car passed me at the very last second, but I still came in first. When I went to leaderboard, he was in last? I have no idea how that happened, but hey, I'm not complaining. I will take any wins that I can get in this car. So now we're on to another race, which is on San Francisco against 2 Corvettes and a 488 GTB, all of which start out faster than me, go faster than me, you get the picture. So currently I'm up to around 270,000 Syndicate coins, which means I'm a little over a quarter of the way through the event, because in total it is 1 million. That's insane, and it will probably take a long time for me to get there, because, well, you can't even unlock the Bugatti until you get to the very end of the event. One thing about the Yesco event that was better than this one was that you didn't have to make it all the way to the end to get the car. You would just begin, I think, one of the last chapters, and then you'd get it. And if you got to the very end of the event, you'd get a special decal that would show that you completely completed it. Not so with this event, and there are a few other things that are better about the Yesco event than this one as well. I never thought I would say that. But it had much less wait time for the hazard levels. 5 minutes in the Yesco event versus 15 in this one. And in the Yesco event, you were not limited to how many Syndicate coins you could get with spending tokens. Here you are limited to 250,000 Syndicate coins with 6,000 tokens. And I know a lot of people who really want to get the car would be more than willing to spend more tokens like that to get more Syndicate coins. But we cannot without spending real money. So in many ways, and I've just counted out 3 right there, the Yesco event is better than the Bugatti La Voiture Noire event, or however you pronounce it. I feel like I'm going to keep messing it up. Also, the Bugatti isn't as good as the Yesco either. So I feel like we can pretty safely say this event is worse than the Jesko one in many different ways. In fact, I can't really think of many ways that the Jesko event was worse than this one. Check that, I can think of one thing. In the Jesko event, you weren't given a ton of blueprints for a lot of the new cars or some other ones like you are given in this event, and the other cars that you can get in this event are better in general than the ones you would get in the Jesko event, aside from perhaps the Genti, which was a very good car for that one. But other than that, I mean, there's not really much. So I would say the current event is okay if you just want to get the other cars in the event, like the Apex or the 911. It's probably going to be okay for that if you spend your Syndicate coins wisely. But in terms of going for the final car, the Jesko event was better. If it's true that in this event you have to spend 450,000 Syndicate coins one time to upgrade the Bugatti, as well as needing to spend about 500,000 Syndicate coins apiece for the 911 and the Citroen to get them at the ranks you need them for. And with only being able to get 250,000 Syndicate coins through tokens, yeah, this event is pretty much going to be impossible without spending money, at least currently from what I can see. Now, maybe something will happen later, and we'll be able to get a lot more Syndicate coins through the event. Who knows, it might change, but I'm not really expecting it to. And what I would recommend is that people continue to go through the event, but cautiously and not getting your hopes up too much. Just continuing to go, seeing how far you can get, and once it gets to the point where you can't go any further, just stop. Don't spend any real money on this event, I would recommend. The car in the end is really not worth that. And even then, I mean, if you already have the Jesko or the Chiron or the Rimac or any of these cars at more than like 3 stars, you're already going to likely be better off than getting this Bugatti. It's like a Chiron with slightly better handling. So my Chiron is at 4 stars. I know a lot of people have these Chiron at higher stars, 4 or 6 stars, like when the Burst of Speed event for it came out in the past. But in this event, you're only getting the Bugatti, I believe, at 3 stars or something like that, in which case it is likely going to be maybe as good as or slightly worse than the 4-star Chiron. So there's not a whole lot of incentive for people to spend a lot on this event anyway. And for a lot of people, it's probably more worth it rather than spending tokens on this event to star up the Rimac, which is a car that you can currently get packs for in the store, at least on Windows. And I mean, I could do that. I've currently 6 out of 60 tokens to 4 stars on the Rimac. That's a lot and would probably cost me around 8,000 tokens given normal luck to be able to do. But it's really sad when even that seems better than going all out for the Bugatti. Again, I'm going to see just how far in the event I can get. Likely I will make a video later like I did about the Jesko event. I don't know if I will go into quite as much detail there, but we will see just how much information I can get about the event. Because we have seen that there are multiple ways that you can go through this event. You can do what I'm doing when you don't have the cars at high enough stars to be able to do the hazard level 3 races and just grind through the 2 and 1 level races when you get to the final sections in the car's respective chapters. Although it takes longer and you miss out on some pinned missions that way, I believe that you still save a good chunk of Syndicate coins by doing that versus just going all out and trying to star up all the cars to as much as you can. Because already in the Apex event, for example, it costs around 12,000 tokens per 10 packs to get you 3 blueprints for that car. You would have to spend approximately 320,000 tokens on average to take the Apex from 3-star to 5-star, which is the difference between being able to do the hazard level 3 races in the last 2 sections of the chapter and not being able to. You might lose up to 50,000 Syndicate coins on lower Syndicate coin gains from those races, doing 1 versus 3 hazard level races, and maybe about 100,000 in total from the pinned missions that you can't do there. So you are missing up to 150,000 while saving probably over 300,000. You see what I mean and why I say that it is probably better to go through if you have the time at lower stars at the minimum ones, because it should be more cost effective in the event overall. And if you want to see how far you can get and you don't have the cars at higher stars already, this is a really good strategy in my opinion. And I'll be sure to let you know of any other optimizations or calculations that I'm making through the event. I really enjoy math, so this is a lot of fun for me. me. So for my general review about this car, it's a fairly high-end C-Class car, not one worth spending tokens or anything on, but if you see them come up in the Legend store, I'd say it's perfectly fine to spend the 500 trade coins each time to be able to start this car up, especially if you're not using your trade coins for a whole lot else, like myself. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!